Hi guys, welcome to day 5, final and last day of our memory challenge. So today I'm just going to summarize what we've learned so far, main ideas behind how our memory works. And then we look into how we can change what we do on daily basis so that we can enhance our ways of how brain is working and ensure our memory for a long time. So why we don't often remember things. First thing, as you already know, is because we don't pay attention. So many memory strategies are there to create it for you to find your ways to pay attention to that specific moment, to that thing that you are doing right there. And that applies to memorizing people's names, reminding yourself where you find your keys, your wallet, just paying simple attention when you greet somebody and where you place those items. Our brain also is not built to learn from read material and that kind of information. Our brain, from evolutionary perspective, is created to learn from experiences and to explore our surroundings and take learnings from that. So we can then, knowing that, we can translate that factual semantic information into that experiential memory. So we can create imaginary experiences for us and inbuild those facts into our surroundings and create imaginary experiences for ourselves, because brain doesn't know what is real and what is imagined. So it will create it. Well, we create that imaginary story for ourselves. We create imaginary experience. And as you know, your experiences from your past are those things that are very easy for you to recall and remember. Another thing that we've already established that is very important is setting intention and purpose for everything that you do. There is so many subconscious processes that running at the back of our minds all the time that only by setting clear intention, clear purpose, and clear goals of what it is exactly that we want to achieve, whether that's out of our day, whether that's out of specific meeting, whether that's out of specific information that we are just about to read, our brain will be much more willing to help us and guide us through the process, and it will be much more energy and time consuming to work that way. Now we also know that stress prevents us from learning because it simply automatically switches on that fight or flight mechanism. And that is a defensive mode. That is not the mode from where we can learn. And as soon as fight or flight mechanism switches on, our prefrontal part of the brain, which is the newest part from evolutionary perspective and is most energy and time consuming, it switches off. Because we don't have time, if we're attacked by some prehistoric predator, we don't have time to think what to do, to run or to attack, or we have no time to ponder what the right thing is there to do. So the only way to survive is to act on those instincts. And that's another reason why that reptilian brain automatically kicks in if we are under stress and if we are faced with any threats and challenges. And sometimes those threats and dangers are imaginary. So it's important that we assess our situation realistically and see the positive intention behind what it is that we are going to do, so that our body will not lock into that threatening survival state of mode. We can put ourselves into the state of performance and enhance that by setting right goals, intentions, and creating safe, secure environment. So what are other things that we can do on daily basis, well, every day, to make sure that we make the most out of our brain's capacity, and also that we can ensure long-term brain health, we can ensure long-term memory and prevent things like dementia and Alzheimer's. So let's start with very simple things such as your diet. It's important that we have right amount of nutrients, minerals in our diet. And the most important meal of our day is, guess what? Of course, it is breakfast. Now, why breakfast? Why is it that meal of the day is so important? Well, it is important because if we skip breakfast, then our subconscious mind switches on that message of scarcity of resources. So it completely shapes how we respond to things for the rest of the day. We will be searching for things, we'll be more anxious, more easily irritated. We will be snacking on things. It will be much easier for us to resist any temptations, because our body in that mini stress mode of thinking we don't have enough resources to fuel our day. So it is proven that people who have good breakfast, they will actually consume less calories throughout the rest of the day than those who actually skip breakfast in the first place. So the best thing that you can start for yourself is thinking what kind of breakfast you're having and how can you make sure that you have the most valuable resource for your body to replenish your mind and your body, so that you are in a best place to start your day. The second thing that we can do is to create routines and habits for ourselves. Now, when we are in a new environment, we need to constantly monitor it, and there is this constant vigilance of and monitoring of surroundings that takes quite a lot of energy and attention from the things that maybe we would like to learn and we would like to memorize. So simply by creating routines, habits, and familiarity, what it allows us, it allows all of those processes that we are doing to be transferred into that automatic subconscious process of our minds. So that conscious part of our brain, the rational mind, can be used to pay attention to things that really matters to us. And this way, then we have more capacity to make better decisions, to follow up on our goals, and have more energy and more motivation to do things that really matters to us. Now, it is a myth to think that we can multitask. And in a modern environment, we keep switching our tasks all the time. We are working, we are also answering the phone, we are checking our emails, we are flicking through our Facebook page. And we think that by doing all these things all at the same time, we are more efficient and more productive. But in reality, it is not. We can only truly focus on one thing at a time, and everything else is distraction. Once we get out of that mode of the process that we are working on, it takes around 25 minutes for the brain to resume exactly the same process of performance before we were interrupted. So again, if you really want to make efficient time for your study, for memorizing things, or anything that you are working on, it is the best thing, again, to focus all of your attention to that and avoid all of your distractions, avoid any phone, silence all of your phones, or even get it out of your way, so you can really work on one project that really matters to you the most. We are also not able to focus on one thing for a very long time. So it's important that we allow ourselves that rest. Now, if you think of the brain as a memory system, as a selection of drawers. So there are certain drawers that are in our prefrontal cortex, which holds our rational part of the brain and our consciousness. And then our subconscious brain is all of these deeper filing system of long-term memory. If we already know that conscious rational part of the brain is quite limited, then of course those drawers fill up quite quickly and they need to be emptied. When do we really empty them? So first we empty that when we sleep. That's where all those files get filed into the long-term memory, into things that we already know. And also, it also happens in short periods during the day. And that is the time when you lose your concentration and when your mind just starts wandering and you just can't help it. And that's the message of your brain sending to you that I have enough. I need that time to process things that I have, to empty my drawers so that I can take more information. Most of the time now when we feel that we are losing our concentration and we can't focus, we don't allow ourselves to rest. We've been taught in our school that we need to focus and concentrate. This beliefs then again being further shaped in our business environment and in our meetings. We are just forced to go through and concentrate on what it is that is given in front of us, regardless of how we feel. If you want to do the best thing for your long-term brain health, then it's to really listen to what your body and mind is really telling you. And if you are tired and if you can't concentrate, then allow your mind to wander. Now, this mind wandering state creates in a neurological network of your brain, so-called default mode network. And that is a brain activity at this most active peak, when it links different pieces and bits of information that you already have and integrates into the bigger picture. There are some people who constantly don't allow themselves to rest and have very controlling, very structured lives. And that can create risk of Alzheimer's. Because simply we don't allow our mind to wander, and therefore we don't give time and space to create those neurological synaptic links between different areas of the brain. And as we know, memories are stored in those synaptic links. They're not stored in one specific area of the brain. Memories are stored in those links and those synapses between different cells. So if we don't allow our brain to keep working those little pathways, then they're simply going to die. If you think of any little road, the more we walk any specific path, the more visible and the bigger it becomes. And if we stop using that pathway, then very soon it will die and grass will grow over and we will not be able to cross that anymore. So our memory is working in exactly the same way. Our brain principles are working on the same kind of idea. As in terms of sleep during the night, best thing that we can do is to establish for ourselves a set pattern. Our body got its own circadian rhythm that it follows. And if we stick to specific routines, especially waking up at the specific time every day, then it can really synchronize the rest of our clock. So it becomes more productive and more efficient from bodily processes and your mind processes. Even if you go to bed at a different time, if you've been out one day, or you've been out, you've been sat late studying, it's important that you don't sleep in next day, that you set your alarm and you get up exactly the same time. It will only take few weeks probably to really force yourself and stick to do it, and then it becomes automatic habit. You will not need any alarm. If you always waken up at the same time, your body knows that is your time, and it will use that natural clock to wake you up. And when you wake up naturally without any alarms and forced intrusions, your your state of mind and body is it's in a much better position to face the day, and you will see how you will feel more positive, more refreshed, more energized. You will have completely different energy to do things throughout the day. Also, it's very important that we practice focused attention and we constantly challenge ourselves. So again, different mental puzzles and challenges are very good for ourselves, but also physically learning to do new things. And of course, everybody says that maybe learning things such as playing new musical instrument or playing piano is very healthy for your brain, as it keeps it all active, learning new things and creates new neural connections. But you don't need to go so big. Start with very small things. For example, using your wrong hand to do things that you would usually do with your right hand, such as brushing your teeth or combing your hair. Very simple things that can really first teach you how to pay attention to what it is that you're doing, because if it's not automatic process, you have to pay attention to it. And then again, by doing things in an unfamiliar way and purposely creating those environments, we're creating resilience to overcome challenges and creating new neural synaptic links in our brain. So I'd like to finish with one quote that says, "Let everything you do be done as if it makes the difference." So the rule of setting intention for ourselves, it's not just valid for specific memory challenge. It's not just valid for specific book that you are just about to read because you need to study certain piece of information. It's also valid for your life and for your day. If you set purpose for your day, if you set intentions for everything you do, it can completely transform where your life takes you. And I wish you the most success in your life, and I wish you all to have great memory, to thrive with challenges. And if there is anything else that I could ever do to support you, then I will leave all of my contacts below. And I hope we'll keep in touch. Bye, Beck.